All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Shit with the Cincatas. Sal Cincata here with my wife, Alissa Cincata. You ready for today?
Yeah, I actually have no idea what we're talking about.
You know, I think we should talk about our recent train trip and the customer service aspect of it.
So would you call this like making it right when you do wrong as a business owner?
I think so, but we need a catchy opening. So it's going to be, what was the name of it?
The name of what?
The train.
It is the Belmond Britannic Explorer.
All right, so we'll open it up with saying the Belmond D.
Yeah.
Belmond Britannic?
Britannic.
It's a fucking mess. The Belmond Britannic Explorer when disaster strikes.
Dun dun dun.
I feel like that's a good
That was so dramatic.
clickbaity
I know.
title. All right, so we got to paint the picture for everybody, and don't get mad at us for this is a bougie trip. It was a very bougie trip.
Yeah, this is like once in a lifetime bucket list.
Yeah,
there was an opportunity. We were like, we're doing it.
We're doing it. So we went over to the UK. We spent some time over in Ireland and then London, and we were taking this train trip. Look it up. It's an incredible trip. So it's bougie as hell. It's owned by the parent company who owns Louis Vuitton. They own a train, which, by the way, now it's starting to turn out that a lot of these luxury brands are investing in these high-end train trips where you have your own suite on the car. It's not like Amtrak.
No, it's a sleeper car.
It's a sleeper car.
You get your own cart, train car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You get your own car.
Yep.
Michelin level chef on board. Is it 3 days?
3 full days, yeah.
3 full days on the train, multiple stops, activities when you stop. This is a $15,000 trip, not including airfare, right? So we went over there. We flew first class over there. Like I said, it's a bougie trip. Flew first class. I just know people are going to be like throwing shade, and it's like...
Oh, you should see the comments people throw at Belmond about this trip.
Whatever, man. To each their own. You know what I mean? I'm not going to apologize for being successful.
Apparently, these train trips were designed specifically for the rich Saudis.
Oh, the rich Saudis.
Yeah.
Well, I am not Saudi. I wish I had some oil money. Anyway, so we're all excited. We're there with two very good friends of ours. So it's a thing. We're traveling with everybody. I'm just trying to give you the background so you understand all this. The night before, so we went over there, spent some time in Ireland, and then we had to make our way back to London to go on the train trip. Literally the night before, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., Alissa gets a phone call, and I just see everything on her face change. And
it was so bad. I've never been this speechless before in my life, and I remember one of the people with us grabbed me and was like, I thought one of your parents died.
Right.
That
was the kind of news
reaction
you presented to us, your body language.
I'm sorry. Very dramatic.
So we find out that the trip's being canceled. The train's being canceled due to mechanical issues. And we're kind of devastated. And the main reason is because we are in London. We have no hotel where, to change your plane tickets 4 or 5 days early, that's going to cost us a shit ton of money. So we can't do that.
And you're hoping they even have availability on the flights back.
Right. I mean, it's just so all of a sudden you're like thrust into this situation where you're like, now honestly, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, now what? And so this is where, when disaster strikes. So what do? You're overseas, trip is canceled. Now we come to find out that the trip before ours was also canceled. So they already knew that there was problems going on. So once again, you're back to what the fuck, guys? What kind of mechanical issues are going on?
It was the doors wouldn't close, which is a big deal. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're on a train trip and the doors won't close,
it just smells like bullshit. Like, how long does it take to figure out how to close doors on a train?
Well, apparently months. So the bullshit part was the fact that they knew the train prior didn't go and they didn't tell us that.
Right.
At least prepare us.
So that's the disaster, right? So we're on the phone with him and, we're like, well, guys, we're literally here for one reason. We're not local. We're here for this trip. Don't worry. We're going to get you hotel accommodations. We're going to cover that. And I'm like, when I heard this, I'm just like, all fucking stop. Like, We are not staying in some like holiday. You know how it is when you travel international. Like what they call a 4-star accommodation is just bullshit, right? It's like not like you're lucky if the air conditioning works, especially if you fly to Italy. The air conditioning and ice cubes in Italy it's its own story. So I'm like, we're not doing that. And they're like, they kind of laughed at us on the phone, and they're like, what'd they say exactly?
She said, "Don't worry. I promise you it's not a bad hotel. I promise you'll be very pleased with the accommodations."
Yeah. Now, mind you, prior to this, once again, bougie trip. We were staying at, what was the hotel?
We were at the Peninsula.
The Peninsula, which is...
We went all out. Like, nothing was missed. No detail was missed.
Just a ridiculous high-end hotel. It's beautiful. Look it up. So that's our bar. I'm like, we're not going backwards. That's not going to happen. So they kind of like, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, we don't really understand that this is a hotel that's owned by a luxury company, right? So they have this whole like hospitality wing of, LVHM.
Well, Belmond is actually a hotel brand.
Right, which I'd never heard of. It shows you I'm not fully bougie yet.
You're entry level bougie.
I'm entry level.
Yeah.
So we show up to this hotel, and it turns out like the hotel they got us up in, this is where the company makes it right? So, and I think that's the whole point of this is learning how corporations make things right. Because as photographers in our business, that's what we do. We understand we have to make it right. When we screw something up, we got to make it right. And a lot of photographers, I think, don't want to do that. And here's a company that I cannot sing enough praise to. And when we explain to you what they did to make it right, you're going to be like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what they did right. We're going to talk about what they did wrong and the experience and the way it made us feel as we spent all this money. So I will say,
because they did do something. They did do some things wrong, I think, and I think you think as well. So the experience could have been even better when they screwed it up. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
The night that they called to tell me that it was canceled, I remember standing, you're getting this terrible news, and I'm standing there trying to process everything because, like you said, we flew over here for this trip. So what next? And so she's telling me, I'm asking her about the hotel. She's telling me, don't worry, we'll put you up at one of Belmont's properties. It's called the no. And, first of all, you're under all this stress. You can't process anything. You got the thick British accent. So I'm really like, what is she saying? I kept hearing turducken.
Turducken.
Yes. Which is like a turkey, duck, and a chicken on Thanksgiving. And I was like, what? They're putting us up at the turducken? Like, what is this? And so later I'm trying to Google it, and I can't find this hotel anywhere.
Right.
So I had to get a text message from her.
Because there is no hotel called the Turducken.
Correct. All right. Continue with the story.
Well, what was the hotel they put us up at?
The Cadogan.
The what?
Cadogan.
Cadogan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cadogan. I still don't really know.
So that's where everything starts going right. And we realized what we're in for. And it's not all roses. So I'm going to tell you what can be learned from this. So we show up at this hotel. It's $2,500 a night.
They pick us up in a Mercedes van to take us literally down the street.
Right.
From where
so
we
they
were
pick
staying.
us up from our original hotel, bags, everything. We walk into the hotel. It's the front desk people, the concierge, and
the doorman.
The doorman. Everyone knew who we were.
There was no one in the hotel. We were the only ones in the lobby.
Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Sincata. We are so, sorry for the inconvenience. They said our friends' names as well. They had two separate, guest services take us, right? So our friends were being taken care of. We were being taken care of. And so every night at the hotel, was it 4 nights we stayed there?
Yes.
So 4 nights free for the inconvenience. They ate the bill on that. Not only did they eat the 4 nights free, all meals,
drinks,
alcohol, all services in the hotel complimentary. So right out of the gate, you're like, holy shit, talk about making it right. This was amazing. But here's part of the problem, and I do want to keep expanding on what went right. We still don't know what's going on
at this point in time.
With the trip. Getting communication from whoever was in charge at corporate. So the hotel staff, top notch. They had a mission. They understood the mission to make it right for us, and they did their jobs. Can't sing enough praise.
Above and beyond.
Yeah. And there's even more to it, which makes it even better. But corporate, on the cancellation of the trip and communicating to us, honestly, do better. It was a fucking disaster.
And I felt terrible because I was following up every single day. We're on day 3 at this new hotel.
We don't know.
I still don't know if we're getting
reimbursed.
Reimbursed like they promised. Yes.
The 15 grand.
Yes.
What are we doing with that?
Yeah. They told us we would be reimbursed for it, but how is it being reimbursed?
They're telling you this on a phone call, though.
Correct.
And
nothing's in writing.
Nothing's in
I
writing.
don't even know if this is actually happening.
And at this point, why would I trust you?
Right.
Right? You've already just proven that your corporate structure, I don't think anyone there was being disingenuous, right? It's obviously a top-notch company, but your communication was garbage. So we don't really know what's going on.
I would send a text message to get an update, and they would go days.
Right.
And so finally I found the director of something, the director of the Britannic Explorer. I found his email address, started copying him on every email, and responses got quicker. I don't like to do that. I actually hate doing that.
You don't want to have to escalate.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the hotel, right?
Okay.
So this is over $10,000 in complimentary
the hotel
services.
rooms were what, $2,500
a night. They had us in the suites. Amazing. But here's another level of service worth noting that we're a Hilton brand property. We love Hilton. We get their points or whatever. This is the brand for us now. I don't know if I can afford the $2,500 a night everywhere
I'm
we
like,
go.
maybe it's not our brand. Maybe it's like a splurge trip every now and then.
I love it.
Yeah.
So here's where I was like blown away by the level of service. We would go down to the restaurant at the hotel. So they had 2 restaurants, if I'm not mistaken.
Just the one.
No. What was that other for the high tea? That was a restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Afternoon tea, it was in one spot, not technically a restaurant.
It's the Brits. You got to have tea in the afternoon, right? High tea.
They had a bar, they had a restaurant, they had high tea.
So breakfast every morning, dinner, lunch, everything. They had an amazing restaurant. I'd eat there even if I wasn't staying at the hotel.
Agreed.
So we show up in the morning and we have breakfast, and then we show up for dinner, and the hostess, who was not there for breakfast, the hostess, as soon as we walked in, she's like, "Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Sincata.
Good morning."
Yeah.
For breakfast.
No. Breakfast. She was not there for breakfast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
She was there for dinner.
Yeah.
So she hadn't seen us, is my
Gotcha.
point. And this is where I'm going with this story on the level of service. I don't know if they've got a database of pictures, guest names, and how they knew who we were, but this hostess knew who we were. So she was like, "Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Sincata. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to violate their privacy. Let's just call them the Jones. Will the Joneses be joining you for dinner this evening?" I was like, what the how do you even? First of all, how do you know my name? Who we are, and then how do you even remember or know the correlation?
She knew our room number too.
Crazy.
Yep.
So I don't know what they're doing from a level of service perspective. Like if there's a database and they train their staff for that, top freaking notch.
Or if it's just this one-off because of the circumstances.
Right.
They wanted to go next level with it.
I don't believe that. I think this is built into their DNA.
I think at that price
level
point,
of service.
yeah,
it needs to.
You'd
be,
have
right?
to. Yep.
Even to the turn down service in the evening, right? So the lady comes in for turn down service.
I don't think typically, again, we're new to this level of bougie. I don't think you're supposed to be in the room during turn down service because she was very uncomfortable with us sitting in there.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but she was a little awkward.
Yeah,
but she did her job. She did it great. But the service level is she saw me huffing on my reading glasses and trying to clean them.
Yeah.
And she was like, do you need a, I don't know what it's called, like a cloth wipe? And I'm like, no, that's okay. I have one somewhere. She didn't care what I said. She went in, she had branded,
so like the microfiber.
Yeah, the
lens
microfiber,
cloths.
Right? And she's just like, and I'll leave you a couple of extra. And I was just like, dude, we've stayed at hotels where just getting room service is a nightmare. Everybody's got attitude about it.
Yep.
So again, I cannot sing enough praises for this brand's, the hotel and the staff at that hotel. Highly recommend you, if you can in your life, this is a brand you want.
Oh, and the concierge got us into Twining's tea tasting, even though they were sold out online.
Yes.
He somehow got us in.
Yeah, the concierge, just next level. So, okay, so that's great, right? We're stuck over there, and you took care of our hotels, but what the fuck with the train? What are we doing? We've paid $15,000 for this. We have first class tickets that we bought. Well, we're going to reschedule that on another trip. We're like, well, fuck, man. Now we got to pay for more first class tickets to come back here, or just tickets in general, right? to come back, they're like, no. We're going to refund you the $15,000 for the trip, and we're going to give you your next trip free. We're like, huh?
Like I had to ask that probably 3 or 4 times because I'm like, did you say this?
Right.
Did you mean something else? I just
Right.
want to make sure our English is the same.
Right.
Yeah. Like
It's
English,
the British
American
English. They could be saying anything.
It could mean anything.
Take a
Exactly.
piss.
Turducken.
Turducken.
Yeah.
No, so, and they did. Within a couple of weeks, we got the money to our account. But the over the top for me was, and of course the trip is scheduled for next year, so can't wait for that.
We're just doing a round 2.
Yeah, round 2.
Try again.
That was like a starter trip.
Yeah. See if we're really interested.
They refunded our first class.
Yeah.
Tickets.
Not just the flight home, but
the whole thing.
entire thing.
Yeah. And so now we have a free trip next year to go on this. So I think, for me, I think businesses and brands always get hammered online. And sure, the opening to this was a little misleading, but disaster did strike. But the reality is, this is a company that I have confidence in now. I would spend more money with now. I'd encourage anyone who wants to go on these kinds of trips to spend it with a company like this, right? At some point in your life, you may look at, a train trip through Europe or something like that. There's a lot of brands adding this to their lineup. But I've never in my entire life, I don't know about yours, experienced a brand that went so far above and beyond to make it right like this brand did. But again, the downside, the takeaway, the lesson learned for even us as business owners is how important communication is. That is where I give them an absolute fucking F. Like, they failed. You guys, if you're watching this, you failed. That's where you failed. Because this process, you already had to cancel the first trip. So you already kind of took your lumps, right? And you go, okay, you already had to go through refunding people, explaining it to them, whatever. And that probably didn't go smooth either. So now that was your kind of trial run. Well, now you've got us. Why is it so hard getting the answers from you? Why is it so hard telling us, like, here's when you can expect money to hit, your account. Here's what we're going to do for you, and here's what you can expect. Like, at some point, get someone on your PR team or your marketing team to draft something that goes, hey, in the event the train door can't close again, here's what we're going to look like from messaging. Susie's in charge of communication with the clients, and here's the internal steps. Like, there was no reason for us to be, because I think by the time we finally got money refunded, it was almost a month post-trip, something like that. And I didn't need it 24 hours later, but I did need communication to know that this company that we have no experience with, that we don't necessarily trust, that just kind of blew up our plans, that you guys are going to do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And I think that's the F. The A plus, if you will, is in the team on the ground. That overall, the final refund, like, wow, rescheduling this for free, wow, and the team on the ground, the service there was just top notch. And I don't believe it was just because our trip got canceled. I feel like that's what that brand stands for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah, I mean, we just told a story. Like,
yeah,
what's a scenario that you've had something like this happen in the business? Like, where you royally fucked up?
Yeah, I mean, all of us as business owners, well, you already got my mouth. All of us as business owners, you can't run a business and not screw something up. It's going to happen. You're going to make a mistake, right? And it doesn't matter what your line of business is. You can own a restaurant, a beauty salon, a photo studio. The takeaway really, I think, is to own your fuck up, right? If you fuck up, just own it. Stop making excuses. That's the one thing that will enrage me. And I will say, an industry we see this more in than not is anything related to homes. Plumbers, carpenters, construction, landscaping. That's a tough one for us right now.
We got another story.
Yeah. Let's flip it. Let's tell this story. We're in a new home. In our backyard, we paid for landscaping in May. We are sitting here filming this in the first week of October, and it is still not done. And
it's not cheap if anybody's going through landscaping.
If you're doing landscaping, on any, we've got our property here is almost, I think it's 6.5 acres or something like that. And if, we're just doing landscaping around the house. We're not doing it for 6 acres. But
this is a big project. They're grading the ground.
Right. They got to grade it.
Flooding our whole backyard.
Some French drains. We're planting, 15, 20 trees, shit like that. So we paid for this in May. We're sitting here in October, still not done. The excuses have been fucking endless.
Throwing people under the bus. People that we're friends with.
Right. Well, they don't know we're friends with them, right? So they're blaming the general contractor who has nothing to do with it. It's you're the landscaping company. In May, they told us it was too wet. They couldn't do it. In July, it was too hot. They couldn't do it. Then we heard another excuse from them that they got all of their team got pulled onto a bigger project.
Yeah.
Who the fuck says that to a customer?
You're not important enough for me.
You're just telling me we're not important. And again, so now it's like mid-September, and I light the owner up because it's bullshit at this point, right? Yeah. I know you're full of shit. I know you're full of shit, but you're not owning it. You're not owning it and going, you're right. We're going to get this done by end of next week, right? I light him up. Doesn't respond to me. Doesn't even acknowledge it. All I know is 24 hours later, 4 of his team show up and start laying down sod and one of those trucks. I always forget what they are, but anyway.
Yeah, I know.
To level the
machinery.
Ground. Show up one day, still not done.
No, and they didn't even finish
Didn't finish laying the sod. Laid half sod, so now the rest has just got weeds growing in it. The trees still aren't planted. Yeah, it's just dirt, and now every time it rains, turns to mud. And you didn't finish the job. So here we are, don't know what to expect. Now, this company, I'm going to light up and leave a bad review.
You gave them a chance to make it right.
Yeah, because as a business owner, I cannot stand leaving bad reviews for businesses because I really do believe in my heart, give them a chance to make it right. Bro, we are 6 months into this. You have not only not made it right, there's been absolutely no communication from you on this. And that, to me, back to communication, is just shitty service. So your takeaway as a business owner, I would say, if you screw something up, own it. If you really did screw it up, own it. There are times where the customer is not always right. I believe in that in my heart. You just got customers who have ridiculous expectations sometimes. You got to let them know. That's not a reasonable expectation. That's okay too. But when you do screw it up and you know you screwed it up, fucking own it. And then communicate to the client, you're right, we screwed this up. Thank you for being patient with us. Here's what we're going to do to make it right. And then, of course, do those things. That should be the takeaway from everybody watching this.
Do those things and update the customer as the process is going on. Yeah.
And then, beyond that specific customer, fix your company, right?
Yeah, make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right. Run into a new wall, right? I mean, that's the definition of insanity. If you keep running into that same wall expecting a different result, you're an idiot at that point. So fix it, acknowledge, hey, we got a problem with communicating expectations to clients. We're not communicating correctly. Maybe that's a front office person you're going to handle, or a coordinator, or a liaison, somebody who's going to own that and communicate. Do that. Hire that person. They're worth their weight in gold versus always having to be in like damage control because you screwed something up. So again, every business owner has been on the other side where we screw things up. That's why I try to be patient with businesses. But where I lose my patience always is with lack of communication from the customer. And I think if you incorporate that into your business, you will see customer service issues drop tremendously. Not that you're not going to screw up, but they're not going to bubble up into bad reviews online. We all hate bad reviews online. It's hard enough to get people to leave good reviews. So when you get that one bad review, man, it weighs a lot. But you can avoid this because it's very rare that a customer just has a bad experience and then runs to, online to leave a bad review. It's usually escalated because they've tried to reach out to you to resolve it. You've ignored them, or you're slow in responding. So you've kind of created your own mess.
Why do you think people don't go online to write good reviews when they have good experiences? Why is it always the bad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to wait, kind of have that weighted in your mind too. Like if I read a review from, if I'm looking for a product, I don't put too much weight into bad reviews. I think a lot of people do put a lot of weight into the bad reviews. I don't, because I usually know a couple of things. One, is this a person who complains all the time? Because you can actually see their review history, right? In Google, and there's a lot of people you'll go look up and you're like, this person's never left a good review. It's always bad reviews. But I think when somebody has a good experience, if you're not asking for the reviews, right, they're probably not going to even think about it. And, we ask customers for reviews all the time. Maybe 10% actually leave the review. And, it's always a very nice review. But when you piss somebody off and they feel like they have no recourse, that's why they go do it. So if I had a good experience and I'm happy, hey, I'm happy. Why do I have to go say anything? I don't think people realize how important reviews are in this day and age. But then again, to that point, you can go out and buy reviews, right? If you go on Amazon.
Dude, Amazon is 99% bot reviews.
Yeah, they're
crazy. All fake. Not BOUGHT, but BOT. Robot.
Bots.
Yeah, bots.
Bots.
No, I put a lot more weight into the like three or 4-star reviews.
Right.
Because I feel like they had a good experience, but it's like there's this tiny little thing that's wrong. So just be aware of this.
Right.
But it's still an okay product.
Kind of like what we're talking about with the train.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I'm hammering them on their lack of communication. I'm giving them an F. Overall, though, I think it's an amazing experience. And we haven't even been on the train yet. I just have a feeling, based on everything I've experienced so far, that train trip is going to be phenomenal next year. So I can't wait.
Hopefully they get the doors fixed by then.
Yeah, I'm hoping they can fix the doors. And we'll let everybody. We'll do some behind the scenes and be like a follow up part 2.
I know.
Here's our experience. Can't wait.
It's just. I still can't believe. I remember we were like, I don't know, 2 days before leaving, and we were all laughing like, what if they just canceled it? Like, what if we got there and the train wasn't even a real thing?
You put that in the ether, man.
I did not. Somebody else with us may have done that.
You know who you are, that person. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Hopefully, trip's going to go amazing next year. We'll do a follow-up to this and show some behind the scenes. I'm definitely doing a photo shoot of you on this train. I would highly recommend you at least go check this out. It's pretty badass.
So here's the thing. I got all these outfits for this trip.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go full character. Like full era.
Yeah.
Dresses, little hats. We were going all out. But I don't know if they're going to be in style still next year. So I might have to shop
No, we're
again.
not reshopping. No reshopping. That is not happening.
Maybe.
No.
We'll consider it.
Hard no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everybody. That's it. Let us know your customer service experience down in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts on this and what you think of both companies we're telling you about here. So I think it's going to be a good trip. I'd highly recommend them. And but check them out for sure. We'll talk to you in the next podcast.